basically give it some pizzazz.
Mm-hmm. Like when someone's trying to watch me, trying to figure out my secrets, and I do something weird just to throw the scent off. Like, what's he doing different? I just like, ooh. We're like, I think that last little bit at the end, that's what we're missing. Hey guys, it's Mike Fitzick. Right now we're gonna make Neapolitan pizza dough. This recipe is based off of about 2 years of research. I was doing work with some guys. We were working on different recipes and we kind of just found one that's kind of basic, but you know, there's still like some unique regimens to it. However, the final product's really good, super consistent, and the dough will hold up, you know, up to 48 hours. Have it in the fridge and be able to use it whenever you want. It's also good for me when I'm at the shop. I can make a big batch and it'll last, you know, the weekend. Okay, so now we're gonna make our Neapolitan dough. The ingredients, pretty simple. Flour, inoculated water, salt, a little bit of dry yeast, and water. This is inoculated water. It's pretty much the water that we're gonna add at the end of the mix. You can use a pre-ferment to inoculate it, or you can use a sourdough starter if you have it. The pre-ferment's easier because you can just make it the day before versus a sourdough starter, which you're gonna have to continually keep up with every day, regardless of you needing to use it. For our sourdough and poolish starter recipe, just go to Gozney.com. The pre-ferment is gonna add a flavor profile to the dough. It's also gonna add higher digestibility. It's also gonna be just a little lighter and airier than a dough that hasn't been inoculated with pre-ferment. To not use it is perfectly fine. The final product is gonna be very similar. We're also gonna use just a little bit of powdered yeast, which might be a little confusing to some, but at the end of the day, you don't really want like a sour pizza dough. Doesn't really contrast good with anything. It's good to have a little bit of beer yeast in there because it's gonna bring out the maltiness and a little bit more like a weedy flavor to the dough. First things first, let's put our water in there. After the water, I'm just gonna put our little bit of powdered yeast in there and stir it through. All right, then after that yeast is a little bit dissolved, we're gonna go ahead and put in our 00 flour. We're gonna mix this for about 5 to 7 minutes until everything's combined. About halfway through, you're gonna wanna scrape the sides down just so everything's kind of all mixed together. You don't have any dry spots. If you can't get your hands on 00 flour, it's not that big of a deal. Your best other option would be like an all-purpose or just something low protein, something that's gonna end up with a light product. Red flours are not ideal. All right, so you can see everything's kind of all combined through right now. It should be a little bit tight, but that's good. Everything's kind of bound together. Basically right now, that dough is all bound up. We're going to put this on high, and while it's spinning, we're gonna add our inoculated water slowly. And while that's getting absorbed into the dough, we're gonna sneak this salt in there. It's gonna ride on the water. The dough won't even know we put it in there. I don't recommend pouring all of it at once, kind of maybe about half at first. Let that water absorb, and then we'll do the other half. You can see now that we're using a spiral mixer to make this dough. Ideally, this is the best one to use for this type. You can also mix this by hand. It's not that too hard.
Yeah. What?
Inoculated water has been all absorbed. We got just a little bit left. We're gonna pour that in there. And then while that water is absorbing, we're just gonna sneak this salt in. Just a little bit at a time. Wait for it to absorb. Okay, so that dough is all mixed up. It's looking smooth and silky. Everything's combined. It looks great. Just a little bit of neutral oil or something to make this not stick in the bottom of the pan. That's going in there. Cover it up. It's going in the fridge for about an hour. We're just gonna get this down nice and cool. All right, guys, it's been about an hour. We've had this in the fridge, kind of tempering out. We're gonna break these down to about 250 gram balls. That's gonna make a really nice, light, airy pizza. Might be a little tough to stretch out, so for beginners, we can shoot for 275. If that's too hard, go with 300 and just work your way down. We're just trying to get the whole thing even. and round it off and try to seal the bottom a little bit. At the end of the day though, we're gonna be flipping it down, so it should kind of just seal itself over time. And that's it, guys. We're gonna cover this up. It's going in the fridge for 24 hours. When we're prepping for the Neapolitan, we've got some San Marzano tomatoes with salt, Parmesan. We got this fresh mozzarella. You're gonna wanna chop it down a little rough, little strips, you know? Let's make some Neapolitan pizza. Got our Neapolitan dough here. It's pretty easy to press out. You don't really wanna stretch it out too much. You can use flour, but you're gonna wanna work your way down to where you don't really need it. And you're gonna notice there's gonna be just a better finish to the pizza. It's all topping centric, so like everything's gotta play off each other. You need to have all quality stuff or something's not gonna match up. We're gonna make the Neapolitans in the Roccbox today. We're sinking this in here. Oven's on full blast. The flame's on high. This thing's only gonna take about 60, maybe 90 seconds to cook. Don't leave, don't go smoke a cigarette, don't go to the bathroom. Keep an eye on this thing the whole time. All right, guys, she's done. Just finishing off that back side.
Try and say, I'm going to go to Sainsbury's.
I'm going to Sainsbury's. Neapolitan pizza. Oh my God. More Parmesan, more basil, and then finish it with the olive oil. I would gladly give this to my mother-in-law from Naples. You know, look at the, yeah, this is perfect. Oh. So good. I'm in Naples right now. Just squint my eyes. We're in Naples. Questa è la vera napolitana. Tu conosci?
Sì,
Tutte capere.
prego.
Pretty good, right?
And
I got you.
your journey.
So, they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, we're building.